So it's a very good afternoon and welcome here to Weldon Oval here in Curl in New South Wales. It's the AFL Sydney Match of the Week. We are into round 14 of the 2015 BLK AFL Sydney season. And today we see top two sides, in fact 3 and 4, top 5 sides. The Manly Warringah Giants taking on the St George Dragons in what could be a season-defining game for both sides. Only separated by one game on the ladder, sitting in 3rd and 4th, respectively. Have a very eventful day here as well as we welcome the Premier of New South Wales, Mike Baird, here to Weldon Oval. We'll go to him very shortly. It's as I said, these two sides very closely linked on the ladder. We have a quick look at the ladder at the moment. In 3rd spot there, Manly Warringah on 32 points, St George 28 points. Of course, the East Coast Eagles well out in front at the moment. They look like they will secure the minor premiership for 2015. But it is finding out who will feature in the finals. You can see there the top 5 almost set for the season, but just jostling for positions. And today, a possible look at a second chance on offer for one of these sides if they were to get the points this afternoon. We're looking forward to a big day here at Weldon Oval, and as I said, we welcome the Premier of New South Wales, Mike Baird, here with us this afternoon. And you can just see the teams lining up in preparation for that. Wonderful to have the Premier here. And a good vindication of how well our game's going up here in Sydney. And you can see a good crowd on hand as well.
I've got Mike Baird here. Mike's the local state member and he's also the Premier of New South Wales. He's kindly accepted to be the Manly Club patron for this season, next season, which we're very excited about. So I just want to do a little bit of a presentation to Mike. I just want to present Mike with a cap, which actually says club patron on it and a Manly shirt. So thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Russ. Well, it's a privilege to be patron of the Manly Warringah Giants, a club with a proud history and one that's got many premierships in front of it. Great to be here on Ladies' Day. All the ladies look fantastic, and I think we should have the winning team get the overall ladies. So there's excellence. The Manly Warringah Giants, I am so proud to be part. Obviously, we've got a great legend, AFL legend here in Woz just behind us. Great to have him here. Someone that gives back, and I know all of the guys look up to him. But this is a community club. The community is very proud of you. We see the success on the field, but as members of the community and what you give back, you should be very proud of it. So boys, all the best this year. My young nephew is part of the Swans Academy. His big dream is to be playing the ones here, so I hope to see him in the coming years come through. He can kick off both feet, he can get a lot further than I can. So he is undoubted talent that I hope he joins you. So good luck today. St George, great to have you fellas here with us, but obviously we're hoping these boys get up. So have a great game. Thanks, fellas.
As you just heard, the Premier of New South Wales and the local member here just being announced as the patron of the Manly Warringah Giants Football Club for this year and next, which is a great get. And obviously showing his links there with the Sydney footy. It's a nephew playing in the Swans Academy as well. So great to have Mike here, and congratulations to the Manly Warringah side for getting him on board as the patron of the club for this year and next. Let's take a look at the games that are being played this weekend. And you can see here, of course, Manly Warringah versus St George here at Weldon Oval. The Bats take on the Eagles out there at Trumper Park. It'll be a difficult game for the Bats this afternoon with the Eagles in such fine form, but they are at home and stranger things have happened. Pennant Hills take on the Bulldogs. We saw the Bulldogs last week. They've had a very, very disappointing season. And Western Suburbs versus North Shore out there at Picken Oval. The Sydney University boys have got the bye this afternoon. So some interesting games in the AFL Sydney competition in round 14. We'll take a look at the sides as they were given to us on Friday night. And for the Manly Warringah side, you can see there the two tall timbers up front there in Polar, Smith and Fowler back in the side this afternoon. And there's a few changes to that have happened just this afternoon. One of those being Lachlan Behag is coming in for his debut He's one of the Rams players, so keep an eye on him, number 27, Lachlan Behag. And also just a note for the Manly Warringah Giants, I've been given that 11 of their 22 out from that grand final premiership side from last year. So a very different looking Manly Warringah side. You can see now out there in the middle, the Premier tossing the coin. And it looks like Manly have won the toss and will kick to the right. Take a quick look at the St George side as it's lined up this afternoon. And not a bad looking side there. There's a few changes to this side. They've had, looks like about 8 outs from last week's side. In fact, 9, 10, 11 out. Tim Conan comes in to play his first game, and Tyler Gorman-Brown, who was named last week, comes in and will start on the bench for St George. So an interesting lineup, two very different looking sides taking the field here this afternoon at Weldon Oval. We are all in readiness to get this one underway. And as you would have heard, the Premier there, Ladies' Day here at Weldon Oval as well. So you can hear in the background some of the fine ladies of Manly Warringah Football Club enjoying their day here in the fine facilities. And they will certainly be looking for a win this afternoon. The two teams huddled. Beautiful day here at Weldon Park. As the sun is shining. The wind is very much favouring the right of screen, so no surprise that the choice was to kick from left to right. And we'll see how that plays out for the rest of the afternoon. Teams have broken, and we are set to get this one underway. Manly Warringah taking on St George. It's round 14 in the AFL Sydney competition. And we're coming to you live from Weldon Park. The umpires for this afternoon: Hayden Kittle, Lachlan McDonald and Luke Jobson with the whistle in hand. We're all set to get underway. It's Manly Warringah versus St George. Very similar outfits out there to this afternoon as well. Just the red V and the maroon side stripe on Manly Warringah. So bear in mind that, and some names may come a little bit more difficult than others. The umpire holds the ball aloft. We're just about set to kick this one off. West in the ruck for St George. That one will come back. In the ruck for Manly Warringah is Tom Pyle. And not the greatest start for the umpires, but we're underway now. West with the height advantage, but it's the Manly Warringah Giants who come through and go inside 50 for the first time. Fowler just couldn't get the hands on the ball. St George pounce. A quick kick out of defence is good, and it lands in the arms of Ben Jones. Jones wants to move it quickly, goes wide. It's a good kick, right on the mark there to Tate. Just bounced off his chest though, so having to do a little bit of support work now. St George go forward again, but the mark is chopped off, and Manly Warringah with the opportunity to go forward. In the arms, there's Polar Smith out there. And he goes forward looking for Fowler. He's got the run. Has to turn around onto the right. Goes there now. Looks for home. Has he got this one around the corner? He hasn't. In fact, he's pushed it across goals. And it goes out of bounds. We'll have a ball up just to the right of the Manly Warringah goals. As I said, a beautiful afternoon here. The sun is shining. And the wind favouring the right-hand side. We'll come in now. And through to a great one. West does the ruck work around the corner. I think that's a goal. It is. And Manly Warringah get the first. It was Brain that got that one around the corner. As I said, not the greatest throw-in from the boundary umpire. Really did favour the goals. As we have a look again at this one. See, it goes very much towards goals. West didn't do enough, and Beautiful shot on goal to open up the scoring this afternoon. And Manly Warringah get the first. Back in the middle now. West gets a good piece of this. He could have done that. Well, that last ruck worked. Running onto it was Jones. He's tackled. Umpire says holding the ball. And the Giants are away. Kick goes forward. Not a great one. And a relieving mark taken just inside 50. And, oh, good mark. Went to go and weren't. Beckett has to kick. Bullet ball in, but it doesn't reach the target. And now St George. Randall with the handball. It was just a bit of a hit and hope. And now they come through. Doing the tackling in there is Bonnie for the Giants. And the umpire says, I'll have it. And we'll have a ball up right on centre wing here at Weldon Oval. West again. They'll win the ruck. They just need to work the clearances out. Brain tried to spin through tackle, and the umpire said, you can't go that way. And it'll be a St George kick. They spread these jumpers very, very similar this afternoon, especially running away. There's a lot of white and red numbers. Forward. This is Tomlin's. Again, the mark's been taken. Going back is Wern with the flight of the ball. Decides to come near side. Goes out to Robertson. Good to have him back in the side this afternoon. His hands off to Panizza. He's been handy for them this year. Now caught the play on is Brain. Goes by hand inside. Put his teammate under a lot of pressure. The tackle there came from Jones, not rewarded. And we'll see now a holding the ball decision called. And St George will get the kick. It started well, the Dragons. This is Ryan with the footy. Ryan goes inside, just bumped out of it. The umpire had a close look at that and said it's all okay. Not sure the Doherty had a clear run at the football. And they spread the Giants. And they move it quickly. The handball there to Weir just went to ground. Jones, who's been lively early, caught now, gets a handball away. And the Giants trying to find some space. Good little handball coming out from Bonnie. Now they get the ball clear. Going forward, but the kick's not a good one. Addison tracking this one back in front of Brain. Brain looking a little bit slow out there at the moment. And he does the hard work though and gets the tackle on. Now St George under pressure. Fowler comes in support. They've got runners if they can use them. They get it off now to Polar Smith. The kick not going 15. And the kick off the boot is offline. You just get the minor score. And cough that one up there, St George. It'll be tough if they don't take their opportunities this afternoon, the Dragons. They go in short. On off, so they'd have to go laterally. Goes out. Finds Tomlins again. His kick flirting with the boundary line. And went too close. Now the Giants on the move. Go to the line. Fowler takes a mark right in front. And you can mark this one down. Fowler from right in front. The easiest of kicks for the full forward. Easy as you like. Splits the middle. The Giants have got two on the board early. Not the greatest start for St George. They really haven't looked like pressuring the goals. See here. Fowler just read the ball beautifully. Going back with the flight. Back in the middle, all the scoring being done by the Giants at the moment. opportunity now for St George, but the kick smothered off the boot. Goes back. Quick kick from Burke. It's not a good one, and Addison finds it on a half-back for St George. Goes very wide. A good kick in the end. They've opened up a little bit of space. They go inside. A good spoil coming forward, and the Giants repel. Polar Smith tries to take the one-hander. Couldn't do so. Stepping back inside, Rickson. Opened up space again. Just need to find a target going forward. Unable to take the mark, but in there is Wilson. Just ducks the head, gives it off. Now a chance for Kenny. Lines them up, looks good off the boot, and he's got it for the first for the St George. And it is Nathan Kenny with the goal. And exactly what the doctor ordered for St George. They get their first of the afternoon. And Nathan Kenny gets his first for the Dragons. 7 points to margin in favour of Manly Warringah. We're back in the middle, 8 minutes played, first term. West once again wins the ruck. They get it going forward, and this time they've got the ball. Hodgson drives them inside 50. Just overrunning it there was Doherty. And the Giants working it out. Headed for Beckett. Some good work there from, it was Hill. And Hill drives them inside. What a goal! Something out of nothing, and St George have pegged the margin back. They trail by 1 point. Really didn't look like that was a scoring opportunity, but he made the most of it. Hill, some fantastic work to affect the spoil in initial stages. Sidney Wern gives it off, and the kick comes out. Beautiful work from Hill. Got around his opponent, just dropped it on the boot. And splits the middle here at Weldon Oval. And the margin back to 1 point. Two-1, plays two straight as the umpire brings this one back. Washington's now moved in the ruck for the Giants. West again over the top. He just has hang time. He gets his hand to it. A big sweeping handball out from Robertson. Turnover comes. Hill again. Nothing to kick to, and really needed to use it a bit better than that. Batten it is. I think I've been calling him Beckett, but Batten takes the mark. Now with Brain by hand, gets it back. Nice little stat maker that one. Goes out in front of Fowler, takes it on the chest. And it's poleaxed, at least skewered by a photographer in the pocket. Fowler will go back and have a shot. No nonsense, gets underway. The wind will assist this. Up the right side for the right foot, and just pushes it to the right. Minor score, 2 goals, 2 now, Manly Warringah. They played 10 minutes first term. Giants now forcing the turnover again. They go forward, Fowler just tracking the ball, taking his time and giving away a free kick. Just to try and read the bounce there, but Napa just went and got the footy. Now Kenny, he has one to his name. Addison. Across the goal. And the St George Dragons look like they're out. Well read there. Some good work from Tomlins in front of the pack, and he gets it back. Showing a little bit of pace and skill. Kick inside, doesn't find a target. They bring it to ground. Back to Tomlins. Another sweeping handball. Again, just couldn't quite find a target. Now he's applying tackles. If you've got Super Footy points or AFL fantasy points on Tomlins, nice little package for him. Trying to get through now. Not coming. Now trying to split the pack was Robertson. Tackled. Umpire said he disposed of it. And Burke is wrapped up in another tackle. Wilson pleading his case to the umpire. Probably had a case there, but not forthcoming. West now gets in front of Washington in the ruck. Better at ground level. Could have been a high contact. It is Brain. That is James. Will take the kick. Short kick to Robertson. Weldon on offer. Sees the lead coming from Fowler. Pushes off, but a good mark going back, Addison. And that's what they'll need to try and stem the influence of Braden Fowler. Tomlins racking up possessions at the moment. Kick once again, though, just doesn't hit the target. Inside they go. Chopped off the mark again. They've been good across half back, but just need to find a target going forward, St George. They come out. Hill was the target. Had two to beat. Couldn't do so. Panizza goes and gets it. Goes short. On the rebound. Now Addison with some work to do. Gets it off. Gives it to Kenny. Decides to have a bounce running through. Ambitious, but he gets away with it. The kick not a great one though. And it goes straight down the throat of Gareth Benbow. Benbow goes wide. And we know the peripheries here. Tomlins again. Handball across to Conan. Here's the first game. Tomlins again. Getting plenty of it. Kick through the middle is a good one. Good lead coming from Hodgson. Just working the angles. There's with a good pass as well. Kenny, this is a good build-up. They just need this one here. Giants traditionally have been very good in defence. So they're just trying to split the lines. Going back with it was Milner. Tackled out of it, but they've still got possession. Quick kick inside. Intended for Hill, and he did well to get in front of his opponent and has taken a mark 40 metres out right in front. So already got one, Jack Hill. Kicking into the breeze. Right from 45. Kick on its way, he's pushed it to the left. Just the minor score, their first blemish in the afternoon. Margin's 1 point though here at Weldon Park. 15 played in this, the first term. Just in here. Now, the Giants have set up two players all out on their own here wide. Just wanting to get numbers to the contest. West couldn't bring the mark down, but does well to maintain possession. The little squeeze kick goes through and it's good. And it's found, this is Jones. Didn't really want to look at goals, and he's done well to find the running player in Nathan Kenny. And he'll have a shot on goal. He's already got one as well, so this to put the Dragons in front late in this first term. Once again, kicking into the breeze. Distance not an issue, and he has split the middle like it's nobody's business, and Kenny gets his second and the Dragons are in front. Passage of play, maintaining possession, the Dragons. 3 goals 1 plays 2 goals 2 here at Weldon Park. St George with their noses in front for the first time this afternoon. Back in the centre. Favours West, brings it down. A quick look at where his players were. No one really at the fall of the ball though. They win it out of the centre clearance and they go forward, unable to take the mark. On that occasion was Priest. It's a good second effort, but it's now with Benbow. His kick through the middle is an ordinary kick at best. Turnover comes Rickson. He's a player on his own in Priest who's worked his way back. Couldn't take the mark. Benbow again doing the mopping up. And now by Hound the Giants. Little touch in there. Forces the turnover. Gorman Brown. Another blonde forward for St George. Is going to be making it interesting between he and Priest. Of course, playing his first game, as we mentioned. Hill. Across to Tomlins. Out now to Shaw for the Dragons. Short kick in. Looking for Priest. Napper. Just couldn't find the boot. Swinging. And the Giants under pressure in defence now. They work it with a big sweeping handball out. What can they build here? They've got the running players. Parker, I think it was, goes forward and Fowler takes the mark. A great mark taken by Braden Fowler, and he will go back and have a shot. See here. Originally caught in the back position, but just worked his player under the ball. And took a good mark. Starts his run up and finishes beautifully. Fowler has his second, and they get their noses back in front. So entertaining first quarter so far. Almost goal for goal. And we had the first two on the board. George answered. 3 goals apiece, the margin 1 point. Almost going to call that back. The umpire was halfway through the motion. Decided to give it up. Now, plenty of Giants around this. And they work it well off half back. Rebound scoring has been good. Big hit there. Batten goes inside. Now they work it through to McCaffrey. Got around his opponent well. Swung around on the left boot. Puts it out in space. Well run there from Bonnie. Lines them up going inside. Umpire's down. Just the minor score. Said a number of occasions, Weldon Park not the biggest ground in AFL Sydney, so things can happen quickly. Addison goes himself. Fowler. Well, got around him though. West at the back, you'd expect him to take this, he does. Running players wide, goes in that direction now, just holds up though, and gives the defender the opportunity to get the ball over the boundary line. West brings it to ground. There to get the clean football though. Quick chaos ball going forward. 1 on 2. Brain did well to get it away. Almost gave away the free kick, but in the end gets possession. Gives it back to Bonnie. Bonnie's kick looking for Fowler. There on him was Milner, but he's given away the free kick. And there's a 50-metre penalty for not giving the ball back on the full. And that is costly. It was a difficult kick to start with. And that's a tough decision. The ball was coming from a long way out. And Fowler steps in for the easiest goal heel kick. And the Giants get one. Margin out to 8 points. Have a look at it. I think it's a really tough call. It's the original mark Bonnie's kick, free kick from Milner, just grabs the arm, you can see there. And if we scroll it forward, the ball there, it's the bounce that really hurt. Bounced away from Fowler. But tough call, but correct in the letter of the law. Back in the middle now. The Giants get an easy one. And that one's coming back for sure. Great start for the men in the middle in terms of bouncing this afternoon. We're into time on in the first. Into the ruck now for Manly. Pyle. West has done all the ruck work so far for the Dragons. And they go forward again. Kick looking for Wilson, just works himself way, player back. Ball spills, now Priest getting back onto it. Just really had no opportunity to get up and dispose of it. The umpire says, I'll have it. Fowler has 3 for Manly. This ball comes out, St George with the players there. Eventually goes over the boundary line. And throw in. Beautiful day, as we said. Ladies' Day here at Weldon Oval. And the ladies enjoying the time at the footy. West with the big body in front. Wrapped up in the tackle. That was Hill. Ball not really going anywhere. Umpire comes in. West over the top, dominant in the ruck so far, and the umpire says in the back. Tough decision. We've almost been holding the ball, and as such, even the Giants player in Panizza didn't even realise it was his kick. They go forward, big fly at the back from Polar Smith, couldn't do it. Now Monk with his first touch of the afternoon, tries to work a dribble kick from about 45. That's ambitious, it gets it on to Polar Smith. The umpire sent a free kick though, and it's going to the Dragons. Might have been just a quick flick pass out of the ruck there. Kick, not a great one, puts the Dragons under pressure, but they've got the numbers. Addison drives them forward. Too much on the kick though, and the mark's taken by Brain. Goes inside, gives it off to Wern. Goes back by hand. A little chip kick over the top is a good one. And the mark's taken by Panizza. Too far out to score. The lead comes. And unable to take the mark. Getting back with the possession. They swing it around top of the square. No one there for the Dragons. Sorry, for the Giants. And eventually goes through for a minor score. 4-4. 28, 3-1, 19. The margin 9 points in favour of Manly. Well into time on. Siren imminent here at Weldon Oval. Go out. Polar Smith set for this one, as is Hill. Goes with one hand, brings it down. Lucky. As the umpire will come in. Tackle applied on that occasion by Eric Burke. West again. This fight's better. Brings it straight down into the arms of the Randall. And the Dragons are away. Big punch from behind. Wern just overran the ball. Gets it eventually. Drops it. Umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. Now they work it through. Ben Bow goes one way, goes the other. He's in trouble now. Gets it clear. Weir fakes the handball and then goes with a kick, and it's a good one. Now Bonnie chips it in, and a good mark taken. It's Brain, I think it is, yes. And Levi Brain, proving to be the third tall up there at the moment, takes a good mark. And this to open up a nice little 15-point margin. Brain's kick is offline. They've squandered some chances this afternoon. The Giants, 4 goals, 5-29. The margin, 10 points. Forced to go long from defence, St George. We've got the numbers there. Could have been a free kick to Jones. Umpire says play on. West sweeps back for the handball, but it's dispossessed as Shaw was tackled. The kick comes out of the ruck and will go out of bounds. Boundary thrown right next to the post. Desperate not to give up another goal here, St George. Free kick was taken out of bounds on the full in the end. So a little bit of a let off. Good hands. Priest dispossessed. Came through from Gorman Brown. I was going to say Gorman Smith. A bit of confusion here. Giants free kick. Inbound to take it. Drives them forward. Fowler in the area. Couldn't take the mark. Robertson tracks it back. Gets it onto the right. The left boot. Back on towards goal. Addison's back there for St George. And repels. Kick out into space. Now they've got some movement. Wilson, long way from home, goes back inside. Off to Hill. Tackled. Beautiful tackle. And much to the appreciation of the crowd. Tom Pyle goes inside. Finds Carter. Too much on the kick. Over the top. Addison looks like he'll track this. Just packs it forward, but didn't see McCaffrey on that occasion. Kick is chopped off by Rickson. They've been good, St George, but margin 10 points. And it could have been much more as we approach the 30-minute mark of this first term. Hill works some sort of handball over the top into the path there of Tate. Knocks it forward again. Kenny couldn't find the ball. And the Giants, good from defence. Kick comes out. Doesn't quite hit the target there of Beckett. And good mark take by Jake Monk. Called the play on now. Nothing really presenting. Goes by hand. Back into the space to Burke. Burke's kick. Addison. Going back with the fly of the ball with courage. Polar Smith was coming. As the boundary line wins out. Well into time on now. Ticked over 30 minutes in this first term. West running through as well there was Bonnie. Goes back inside now. Puts it on the boot. And Fowler takes the mark. Plays on. Kicks the goal. Late in the quarter. That one hurts. It's really something out of nothing. And Bonnie really backed himself in on that occasion off the back of the boundary throw-in. Hit the ball hard. It's almost tackled here. Had to quickly throw it on the boot. Fowler strong. Takes it going back with the flight and runs into an open goal. And Fowler has his fourth in the first term. Margin out to 16 points. Nothing coming of this one. West again wins the ruck, but no one at the fall of the ball. Goes back to Tomlins. Ball to Ryan, and in there was James Brain for the Giants, forced the turnover. Now free kick comes. Call play on. Panizza is tackled over the line and we'll have a boundary throw in. 32 minutes played in the first term. 8 goals scored. Hasn't really been heavy on the stoppages, but here's Monk. Goes inside and a beautiful bullet pass to Fowler. And he takes the mark. Says to his teammates, this is mine. Tight distance, but as I've said so far, the wind favouring the kick. It will favour the right footer from this side. He pushes it to the left. 5 goals, 6 now. 11 scoring shots to 4. To Napa. Looking further afield. An occasion to Gorman Brown, but the turnover comes. Now it's Weir. Can they get another one? Deep into red time. As the kick goes out from Beckett, is a good one. Played on, lines them up, and misses again to the left. 18 points the margin, 5 goals, 7. To kick in. And chest mark. The siren will sound now to end the quarter. And a long quarter, but a good one for the Giants. They go into quarter time with an 18-point margin. It could have been so much more, though. 5 goals, 7, 37. St George, 3 goals, 1, 19. And as we said, Fowler has kicked 4 for Manly. The other one, James Brain, that opportunistic goal. And for St George, Nathan Kenny has 2. Jack Hill has the other one. So some work to do for the Dragons. The Giants, on the other hand, well, they'll be fairly happy with their first quarter. But it could have been so much better for them. 5-7-37 plays 3-1-19. The margin, 18 points here at Weldon Oval. We'll take a short break. Stay with us. It's the round 14 game, and it's the Giants by 18 points. Welcome back to Weldon Oval. The umpire holds the ball aloft to start the second term. And as we've seen, it is the Giants by 18 points at quarter time. St George again win the ball out of the centre. They go forward, better lead on that occasion, but just slowed up in the lead, saying the target just wasn't quite on. And saying we've seen him over the years, an exciting footballer, Paul Sain. They need a target forward. Maybe he is the answer for the Dragons. Doing the ruck work forward as well is Sain. This stoic Manly Warringah back line. Get it coming out. Going to come back though as the turnover comes. Maybe one too many handballs in there for St George. And once again, the Manly defence. Robertson goes by hand. And the kick not a great one. Monk it was who slipped over at the crucial stage. And the turnover comes. 1 on 2 and just bumped out of it. The umpire's going to say a block there. Interesting though. Milner, who has been doing the job on Fowler, it looks like he might have moved off at quarter time. Sain at the back, gets it out. Good little tap there in the path of Hodgson, but the turnover comes again. And the Giants are up to the task this afternoon. Lachlan Behag, as we said, on debut for the Manly Warringah Giants this afternoon. Polar Smith was the target there. Right with him was Priest. And looks like they've rung a few of the changes at quarter time. Look down there. Fowler, one out at the moment. Can't quite see who's standing him. Giving up some height. West tries to win it over the back. He doesn't get much on it, but the ball comes clear. Monk traps it in, wants to be careful. He's dragged that one in. The umpire will say, I'll have it. Just on the line side. ground. Plenty of numbers around this. Trying to extract it out of there was Jones. And not going anywhere. Question asked at quarter time of the Dragons, which Robertson comes out of the pack, goes forward looking for Fowler. Not a bad effort there on him at the moment. In fact, it is Conan, and he's won the ball. A nice little victory for the first game up. Handball not so great though. They've got the numbers. Hodgson, handball's over the top. There's a whistle off play. It's going to be a St George kick. Hodgson wants to move it quickly. Getting over the top of it, there is Gilbert. But they come away with it, the Giants. The kick across lands in the arms of Jack Parker. And he's going to set himself for a shot on goal. Parker, kick from about 30 metres, the slightest of angle. Their first shot on goal to this end of Weldon Oval. And it starts right, stays right. Another opportunity, 5 goals, 8 now. The Giants, they're leaving the door open. George need to take their opportunities. Napper doing the kick-out duties. An ugly-looking kick coming out of defence. Polar Smith eventually lands in his arms. He goes inside and beautifully done. And Brain takes the mark. He's proving dangerous up forward. He'll give this everything from 50. Fowler in the area, a nice little nudge out, and the umpire says on this occasion, no, you can't. And Fowler seems bemused. It is very much part of his game. And Napper wins the kick, and another ordinary looking kick. Plenty of air under this one. Polar Smith once again gets in there, gets his own roving work. Tomlin's dispossessed. They're working hard, the Giants. The handball misses a target and the turnover comes. Splitting the pack on that occasion was Kenny. Gets around on the left boot. Going forward, looking for Sane. Caught behind. Also in there, here's Gorman Brown. Sane does a lot of work. He might just win this in the end. Gorman Brown as well. But again, baton for the Giants. Ben Bow.
I walked up there and these girls were
And
I'm dressed with the dad.
they give up some space. They go back to baton. And now they go back right. That's Ben Bow right down deep. And eventually Carter will try to come in the other way. Goes by hand over to Panizza. Maintain possession. Panizza has a little run. Not a good looking kick, but it gets to its target. They come out. Robertson on the burst. Goes back inside. Addison just swats him away like he wasn't there. Top of the square. Big fly from Polar Smith. Went too early. And now a chance for Hill to relieve some pressure for the Saints. Finds Tomlins. Inside again. Randall. First kick is a good one. Shaw. Once again, the Giants have pushed back in defence. Randall goes for a second option. The kick was ordinary to say the least. From the ground level, Brain gives it up. Hill could have been in the back. Umpire says yes, it was. And he'll take the kick. Now goes long. Getting back is Wern. Takes a nice solid mark, standing tall. And they go through the back door again. Ben Bow. Out to Weir. His handball inside. 1-2 there with Pyle. And Weir finds a target in Brain. James Brain goes forward. Not a great looking kick. Didn't really take much time with the kick. And the turnover comes. Ryan with the kick. Inside 50. Nice long one. Ben Bow again getting plenty of it back there. And once again they come out this far side, this near side, sorry. Batten. It's almost a carbon copy. Robertson. Not a great kick. Addison will win this as easy as you like. And we're just doing circle work here at Weldon Oval at the moment. Who will break the trend? They go over now. Jones has a good game so far this afternoon. Looking for Sane, big body. And once again, Benbow, this time forced to go the far side. Tracking this one back is Behag. Gets it over the top to Weir. They've worked this well, the Giants. Polar Smith, a long way from home. You quite often see that, but turned over again, and Addison again. So Benbow and Addison are the bookends at the moment here at Weldon Oval. Robertson goes back, couldn't quite track it down. Spills free for Rickson. Rickson goes inside, Sane the target, couldn't bring it down. Second effort, wants to get squeeze a handball back to Wilson. Goes one way, doesn't take the ball with him. Knocks it forward. Sane goes off the deck. I don't know what he was trying to do there. And the Giants again. They come down this near side. Washington didn't take the mark. Tomlin's in there for St George. Going to get the ball. Giants go forward again, but plenty of numbers, and you've got to pay that. You have to pay that, umpire. Had every piece of it. Boundary throw-in is the result. Go inside. Looking there. Looks like Doherty's worked his way into the ruck. So the quarter-time break has forced a few changes of the St George coaching staff, and the good tackle from Jones. And that could have been 50 as well. Jones driving inside, one out, caught behind though. A good third effort there by Kenny. And another tackle on Tomlins this time. And the umpire says holding the ball. And the Giants win it. Definitely this loose man, Addison, is reading the ball so well. Works his way now. Will contest this with Polar Smith. 3 players go up. Coming through is Monk. Wants to turn this one going back the other way. Doesn't do so and ends up in the arms there of Doherty. And eventually over the boundary. Coming out in the full. The umpire right on the spot and seen it. Was off the boot of Bonnie. Obviously not intentional, but it was there. And Napa will take the kick. Goes short down the line. Sure, that's the option. And Monk again. There's plenty air under this one. Goes inside. Tracking it back now is Parker. Some good efforts there from the Dragons. It was Jones again. And they go inside. Just need to take a mark inside 50, which is proving to be very difficult at the moment. Benbow kicks it up. Parker tracks it back, finds some space. Wern goes through traffic. And again, coming through. Just ball was almost secondary on that occasion for McCaffrey. He gained about 30 or 40 metres, and now we have a ball up just outside 50. Giants attacking end of the ground. Missing West in the ruck at the moment. They come back to Panizza. Gets plenty underneath this one. Fowler sets himself. Some good work at the back. They've got the runners though. Comes back and the kick from McCaffrey is offline. 5 goals, 9. So the smoke from the barbecue coming in. Washington sets under this one, couldn't bring it down. In there is Rickson throwing his body around. Some good work from the Giants to get this one going their direction. Panizza with a little tap over. Could have been high. Umpire says play on. Napa back there. Tries to get it clear. They'll ask the question. And the answer will be throw it in, thank you. 5-9. The margin's just 20 points. It feels like a lot more. In fact, there was a free kick given there. I'm sure the umpire signalled throw it in. My eyes darted away, but Polar Smith's now got the kick. He'll kick from about 45. difficult from this angle, you'd think. The kick on its way, started at left. Not a bad option, though. It came late, but too late. And another behind, scored by the Giants. The kick in was intended there for Kenny, and he was beset upon by two Giants players. A little bit going on now. Plenty of jumper pulling. Not a lot in it. And the play is on, and they disperse like magpies. As they come in, Polar Smith at the back of the pack. His kick out into space. Sure that was intended out there for. And the umpire says holding the ball. Quite often see this just after a little melee or a little scuffle. Some very quick free kicks get paid just to regain control. Milner it was who couldn't take the mark. Looked like he's moved forward. And oh, big hit. Bounces up though. McCaffrey moves the ball on quickly. And a good mark taken. Back there is Nick Shaw. He's asking a lot of his teammate, and he delivers. And that's Nathan Kenny. He's kicked 2 goals this afternoon. He's too far out at the moment. Jones, he's had a ton of work this afternoon. Called to play on now. A little bit of game of cat and mouse, and he gets around him like he wasn't even there. They drive inside. Just lacking that forward target at the moment. Could have been high on that occasion on Dave Ryan. And the umpire says, I'll have it. So the scoring has dried up in this second term. As the Giants come wide again. Maybe too wide for Polar Smith. And she's lucky on that occasion. Taylor Priest. There have been all sorts of stuff going on if he worked his way into that star picket. Not sure what the star pickets are really there for, to tell you the truth. Probably pose more of a danger than assistance. Now back in the middle. The Giants try and find a way in, and it sits beautifully on this occasion for Polar Smith. Works his way back on the right. This is a better looking kick, but it just fades late. But Fowler's there, wants to play on. I'm sure that was trying to play on. It's a little bit to go on with from Hodgson, and that one won't count. We'll go through the procedures. Fowler will kick his 5th, you'd think. Does so now. And the Giants lead by 27. Look at it. It's Polar Smith. Nice mark. It's landed in his lap, really. I thought this was going to go all the way. But Fowler just going back. He likes it at the back. And little movement there suggested that he was trying to work into an open goal. Six goals, 10. Manly Warringah 3 goals, 1-19. They've had their opportunities. This one will come back. Not a great bouncing display on at the moment. West has worked his way back into the ruck, but it's the Giants who come away with it. Well read by Taylor Priest. Goes wide again to the lead of Randall. Got one through the middle if he wants to go. He sees it now, and all on his own. And there was Lukakis. Haven't seen a lot of him this afternoon so far. His kick wide, intended, and gets to Nick Shaw. So this is better from St George. Definitely need a goal here, but Shaw's kicked on the man of the mark in Wern, and then he just hung his head. Now he goes back and gets the second effort. And maybe they'll get away with it, but the handball's off target and goes over the boundary line. $27 points the margin. It's in favour of the home side. As we said, it is third versus fourth here this afternoon in round 14. Very much coming to the pointy end. 3 games left in the regular season. Not a lot on offer at the moment. Oh, just stolen out of the pack there by, in fact it was Bonnie. And the Giants stream forward again. Addison comes in to assist Priest. Eventually comes out, intended for Addison. Needs to sit up, does so now. Just got it on the boot quickly, didn't really have a look. And the turnover comes. And Pyle takes the mark. Addison will park himself underneath this one. And cops a little clip over the ear. Gets the free kick. Intended for West, but well read. In fact, it's not well read. The umpire says a push in the back. And Jordan West gets the kick. Sane is the target. Flies. Can't quite get his hands around. In fact, it wasn't Sane. He certainly rung the changes around the ground, the Dragons. And they have stemmed a bit of the scoring, but they haven't taken anything off the margin. Napa goes inside. Coming through once again. Some good work at ground level from Milner, who started on Fowler, bounces behind the point post, in front of the goal post, and just the minor score. The first score of the quarter. Six goals, 10. Plays 3 goals, 2. Kick comes out just over the back. Trying to get a handball through was Pyle. They eventually do so now. Running with it was Panizza. Put some energy into the football every time he gets it. Randall in there for St George. Wern tries to get a handball clear, but they've turned it over. Just bounces in front of Addison. Gives the old hit and hope handball. I'm not sure who that was intended for. And now the Giants with some space to run into, and a good kick, good mark taken. And Robertson will take a mark inside 50. Been harshly dealt there on Addison. He's back in defence, and the Giants, as easy as you like, get one going forward. And the shot on goal will come from Tom McCaffrey. Only been 2 goal scorers for the Giants. Braden Fowler has 5. James Brain has 1. And this from McCaffrey will add to that total as he splits the middle. And the Giants are now starting to build their lead. 32 points to the margin.
Is there any room for me to sit there or not? I won't sit in that.
Back in the middle of Weldon Oval. 32 points in favour of the home side. West. This time beaten out of it by Pyle. It's moved into the ruck, but the free kick comes. It's going to favour the Dragons. We're into time on in the second. The kick in intended there. Carter it was who chopped it off for... Oh, a little bit on here. There'll be a free kick now. Jones didn't like the decision. The kick not a great one. Sits up for Tomlin. Spins out of one tackle. Goes back. Umpire sees a throw. And with a Giants kick. Certainly not the excitement of the first term in terms of scoring. in this, the second quarter. Definitely St George have gone a little defensive, which is okay to slow the scoring down. They just haven't been able to put anything on the board. Just the 1 point for the quarter. And the umpire's called a free kick here. It's going to go to the Dragons in Lakakis. He's holding the ball. Nice little kick over the top. That's fine to Jones. It's this next one that they just cannot find a target. They go further forward and a good spoil comes. And the Dragons still with possession. They're inside 50 now. A better opportunity. Trying to get through some traffic out there in front. Could be a free kick coming, and it's coming now to Gilbert. And he will have a shot on goal. Hold them. Play without the ball. Just see here. Good work there. Gilbert comes through. Never really took possession. And a free kick called. So at the 23-minute mark, nearly 24 minutes played, St George with their first real opportunity to score a goal, and the kick is a good one, and Gilbert has it on the board. And they pick the margin back to 26 points. Came from a free kick, but they all take it, the Dragons. I have to say a better quarter from them in the second. But the margin still 26 points. Resume play after the Gilbert goal. That one favours Tom Pyle, and the umpire will pull it back again. Comes out of the middle again, Addison. He's been that loose player across half-back for St George this afternoon. He's done a good job in this second term. The kick not a great one though. Livery takes the mark and drives them inside. Desperately want to stop any scores here. Polar Smith works it around the corner looking for Fowler. Just filled through his fingertips. Goes back with a second effort though and gets the goal eventually. And the two tall timbers up forward link up. Fowler gets his 6th goal of the afternoon. Thought he might have done his dash when the ball didn't land in the arms. It's good enough to trap. It was a good kick by Polar Smith. Knew what he was doing. Thought that was the best opportunity for Fowler. The ball sat up nicely for him. And he celebrated accordingly. Gets his 6th of the afternoon. And a very good passage of play. Margin back out to 32 points. No goals being scored in time on here at Weldon Oval. Reset. How will this one bounce? That's the perfect bounce from the umpires. West wins it. Given every opportunity, you'd think he'd win each one. And the mark's taken. Wilson has taken a mark inside 50 for St George. A rare occasion for the Dragons. But this for a quick answering goal. Wilson comes in, gives it every opportunity and splits the middle. They're not done with yet. The margin back to 26 points. Really came from the west ruck out of the middle. And the perfect bounce. See, just read it best. Wilson got to the fall of the ball and took the chest mark in the end. As easy as you like. And went back and finished. Another goal scored in time on. 8 goals 10, 5 goals 2. Looked like we were going to have a real drought of goal scoring in this second term, but they've turned it around late. 26 points the margin. It could have been so much more. 8 goals 10, as you can see, from the home side. West again with the perfect bounce, gets the ball going his way. The Giants work it out of the centre. Laterally, Tomlin's winning the ruck. You can see he's got pace to burn, but just shrugs his opponent off. Gives it going forward and running out of space on that occasion. That there was Kenny. Once again, approaching 30 minutes in this second term. It's going to be a long game. They're going to know they've played a game of football this afternoon. Addison now, looks like they've sent one back to man him up, the Giants. Not a bad option, make him accountable. Oh, spinning out Robertson beautifully, gives it off. He may just get this back out to Polar Smith. Robertson now trying to do the shepherding work. Polar Smith goes inside looking for Fowler, but a good piece of work there from the Dragons' defence. And they've seen a free kick here, holding the man. It's been a good move. Sending Conan on to Fowler, the first game up. Go and learn how to be a fullback up against arguably the competition's best. Napa hits the ball with pace, coming through, trying to work his way was Beckett. Now Ben Bow, nice spin out of that trouble. Goes for a little canter inside, but once again, Addison. This kick's a long one, just too much on it for Hodgson. Tries to get it going their way. 29, nearly 30 minutes now. Polar Smith on a long run. Go inside again, the Giants, and a good mark taken under pressure by Damien Bonney. And 50 metres paid. You'd have to say that was in the play, but umpires out there deemed it to be worthy of a 50-metre penalty, and the Giants get an easy goal. We'll have a look at it. It's a good mark. It's definitely under pressure. Going back, Bonney. Addison was right there. Well, you can see both sides of the argument. The end result is the Giants get another one. And the margin back out to 32 points. Washington in the ruck, tries to get a run at it. West just does his normal job, but coming away with it once again is Bonney. He's having some influence in there in the middle. Monk takes the mark. Too far out to score. He'll give it everything. Oh, beautifully done by Fowler, but once again Conan got the fist involved, but coming through and kicking the goal is Parker. Opportune goal for the small man running through, and he gets it and extends the margin out to 38 points. A kick in from Monk. Fowler was there, but Conan read it really, really well. Not sure what Priest was trying to do there. On that occasion, he knocked that one through. Mark from Parker. Back in the centre of Weldon Oval. And once again, they bring it back. West once again wins it forward. That's better from the Dragons. They can rove to his ruck work. They'll go a long way. Tomlin's shot on goal is offline. 32 and a half, nearly 33 minutes played here. Obviously enjoying their afternoon in the sun, the timekeepers. They'll be here for as long as possible. Just a little bit off from Washington. There's a free kick given. And a little bit in this. Addison to take the kick. Let's see what it was for. Forced to go and get his own footy. Fair enough. As the siren sounds, so forced to kick from a long way out. He's outside 50. You'd have to think that distance may be a foe. It's very close to the man on the mark. It's on its way. It's turning right. And doesn't go through. So at the end of the first half, it is the Manly Warringah Giants leading by 37 points. 10 goals, 10-70. St George, 5 goals, 3-33. Fowler has 6 for Manly Warringah. He's well on his way to kicking a bag. And the leading goal scorer, well, it's Nathan Kenny who has 2 early goals for St George as their multiple goal scorer. We'll take a break here at Weldon Oval and we'll reset. It's half time here. It's the Giants by 37 points. It's a good welcome back here to Weldon Oval with play just about to get underway for the third term. Manly Warringah Giants, they lead by 37 points over the St George Dragons. And already umpires deciding to throw up the ball in this third term. As St George come away with it. And they come out in front of Hill. Will be taken going back there. Pyle applies the tackle. Good handball over the top to Napa. Has to get rid of it quickly. And the boundary line wins out. What's going on the sideline here? Just outside of the camera there. And players come. They'll be better off playing the football game at the moment. As ball goes inside 50. St George. Whitten going at it with Milner from St George. Let's see what sparked it, but a little bit of feeling in this one. West wings it down. St George able to get the ball in the defensive half. Shaw just takes it inside play. Interesting looking kick and chopped off. Line. We'll have a throw in. As you can see, still employing the loose man in defence, both sides. A little bit going on here, Robertson. Right in front of the umpire there. If he was smart, that would have been a holding the man decision. Nip it in the bud. And now the free kick comes, and it's going to go the way I suggested, and the mark will be taken. Sorry, the free kick will be taken by Hill, and a 50-metre penalty to go with it. So, a spiteful start to this third term. Please, Mr. Umpire, please. The free kick was given on the wing and you took him to the 50-metre line. It doesn't matter anyway, the St George have taken it inside, but the kick is not a good run from Kenny. And just spills over the behind line for just a minor score. Mark taking a good one too from Robertson. Robertson's kick is not the greatest. Polar Smith feeds it off to Parker, but the boundary line wins out. Giants with 4 players on the sideline at the moment waiting to come onto the field. Happening, and another boundary throw in. There's a little bit going on behind the tent in the St George coaching tent as such. Reset. Plenty of players around this contest. West, who's been dominant in the ruck so far this afternoon, just works his way under the ball. Getting back there, Panizza. His handball quite hit the target. Brain gives up a little bit of yardage, and they just go straight past him. Some good work on that occasion from Witten, and he gets the ball back. Now he kicks it forward. Tomlin's on the lead. In fact, it's Batten. Batten's kick outside is intended for Panizza to run onto it. Napper there as well. Getting back in support was Randall. Napper now under a lot of pressure. 2-on-1. Applies the tackle. Just did enough. Wait for support. And this one will get locked up. And we'll have another ball up. Fowler doing the ruck work against West on that occasion. They come away with it, and it's Priest who kicks it out of defence. They've turned it over. The Giants, clever handballs. Weir drives them inside 50. A player all on his own, running back with the flow of the ball. Here's Robertson, and he will take the shot on goal. For the first of the third term. On its way now, and no mistake, Robertson gets his first, and the Giants get their 11th. The kick coming off the boot. Weir and Robertson all out in his own. George defence not happy with the effort. They're back in the middle now. Once again, West wins the ruck. They don't get the clearance as such. As the umpire comes in for a secondary bounce. Get their arms in a tangle. And St George now trying to get the ball into some open space. Trying to put his head down and go for a run. On that occasion was Lakakis, but the turnover comes. Running now is Panizza. Doesn't mind having a run, Ethan Panizza. And puts out into space. Straight into the path there of Livery. And a good kick inside has found Fowler. And Fowler is marked. Probably 55 out. A bit further by the time he gets the kick underway, but he's setting himself for a shot. just outside 50. Plenty of height on it. And accuracy not the greatest. And pushes it to the left. Could have had a lot. He's kicked 6 so far. He's had quite a few others that haven't hit the target. This one goes out of bounds. Giants, they go inside 50 again, out in front of Polar Smith. The ball just bounces away from him. And St George, well, the handball was ordinary. And Panizza lines them up, and he's turned it over. His skills, not the greatest at this stage of the game. Coming for a run is Hill. Has one bounce, and puts it to boot. Ben Bow just over his head, and the mark is taken by Ryan. Wants to go central. 2-on-1 contest. Milner did well. In fact, it's Kenny there with the boots. And it goes clear out now. West, long way down for him. Gets it cleanly. And dishes off to Jones, but he had 2 players right on his hammer. And the Giants are away. Polar Smith, sweeping handball out into some space. Brain goes inside looking for Fowler. He's pulled out of the contest. Beckett's there. Patton, in fact, it was. I get those two mixed up all the time. And off the deck. Just the minor score. 11 goals, 12, 78. The margin 44 points in favour of the Giants. St George with plenty of work to do if they're going to get themselves back in this game. The margin 44 at the moment. They've kicked 34 points for the game. It's been almost a methodical effort by the Giants. Fowler with 6 goals to his name. West over the top. On that occasion from Gilbert was great. West again. This time Gilbert gets a second chance. Tries to spit it out the back. He's played. The umpire's called holding the man. It was almost a carbon copy of the one just before it, but the second one goes in favour of Bonnie. And Damien Bonnie will have a shot on goal for the Giants. Way. It's offline. Another minor score. St George under all sorts of pressure at the moment. They just can't seem to find an easy way out of defence. This one spills to the advantage. Kicked up. Wilson was the target, but tracking it back, Max Carter gets the better of it. Goes wide. Through the middle. Beckett. Looking for Polar Smith. George with the numbers. Polar Smith just stole it. Could have got a free kick, but too high. Back there for the Dragons is Priest. Get it clear. Napper's kick is a good one, but the mark unable to be taken on that occasion by Tate, and the ball goes over the boundary line. .11:40 played, third term. Giants by 45 points. Tomlin's tried to find a way through. Robertson puts his head down and tries to burrow a way through. And in front, Addison being held there by the jumper. Umpire didn't see it. Goes again, Wern feels the fury. Goes back and gets his own ball. Back to Carter. Now with Robertson, who's doing a ton of work all over the ground at the moment. The kick up, looking for Polar Smith, bounces away from him. Hasn't had much luck with the bounce today. Batten goes for a big fly after being hit heavily. Coming out looking for Addison. Both players pull out of the contest. And it's left there for James Brain to clean it up. He goes inside for Polar Smith. Kick on its way. And another missed opportunity. 11 goals, 14 now. They're in control, but they could have put this one to bed a lot earlier. George really just don't have the answers at the moment. They tried some things at quarter time, moved some players around. They might have found themselves a handy defender in Conan, who's gone back onto Fowler. But just weren't able to contain the Giants. Good work on that occasion from McCaffrey. Lines them up, splits the middle as easy as you like. And once again, out of nothing, McCaffrey gets his second. Just came from this play here, handball inside. But that was the play before to Robertson. $52 points the margin here at Weldon Oval. The Giants getting the job done. Have a good crowd. Been in the back, umpire says yes. Big Jones to take the kick. That should have been 50. Another one missed. Ugly looking kick going forward, really gives no one the opportunity. Behag, first game up. Turns it over. Back down the arms of Doherty. Got himself into a bit of trouble, Doherty. Gives it off. Priest goes inside and it's a good kick. And the mark's been taken. It's inside 50, a rare occasion. And it'll be Shannon Randall. In fact, no, it won't be. Jack Hill. He's just snuck forward again. Kick one already. This one won't be a goal. Pushes it to the left. Oh, great. Set shot display this afternoon. And a lot of kicks just fading. Never really looking like scoring. Carter brings it in for the Giants. Through the middle, Brain. Ryan's Batten. Sammy Batten on the left boot, pushing forward, and a good mark taken by Damien Bonney. I've liked his game this afternoon. They go to the square, and the mark's almost taken by Robertson. And it spills over the goal line, 12-15. It was in there for Robertson. Just didn't stick. Would have been a certain goal. George to bring the ball back in. Interesting decision. He's looking there for Ryan. The turnover comes. Monk likes these from the pocket, swings it around the corner, and Jake Monk gets one on for his name. And the Giants get their 13th goal of the afternoon. They lead by 58 points. It was an ambitious kick in, to say the least. 1-on-3. And the turnover came. Ended up with Monk. And as we've seen on many occasions in the AFL Sydney competition, just turned it around the corner. And enjoys the goal. Back in the centre now. St George just need to get something going, especially this end of the season. They need to know going into finals that they can match it with the sides like Manly Warringah. Every chance they may even meet them in the first week of the finals. And for a psychological edge, they need to stay with them. McCaffrey, inventive little chip kick over the top, got his own ball back. They've turned it over now, and it's Tim Conan, the newly appointed fullback extraordinaire. Goes over to Tomlins. Goes back inside to Shaw. Hill. Up to Priest. Priest finds Sane. Good mark. Going back to fly the ball. Wants to move it quickly. Does so. Now they work their way inside 50. West resting up forward. Was a long way back, but got to the contest. Wilson gives it across to Milner, I think it was. And he has split the middle. A good goal, a good team goal from St George. Exactly what they needed. Good mark here by Sane. He's read it best. Stopped and prop. Got the ball going forward. West, who was sort of out of the contest at the start, did well. And Milner finished off for St George. And they get it out of the middle again. No mark to be taken there by Wern. Coming through was Gorman Brown. Couldn't spin out of trouble. And a big contest there. And eventually over the boundary line. Good crowd on hand this afternoon. We saw the Premier earlier in the day. He's awarded his club patron. And he'll be the patron for the Giants the rest of 2015 and the year ahead. Brain at ground level. They get the ball going by hand. Batten gets it back. And now in the path there of Parker. They move it inside. They've moved the ball quickly, but getting back to take the mark is Shaw for the Dragons. Goes through the middle. And a good mark taken by Tate. Hands off to Randall. Goes one way, goes the other. Wanting to find a little bit of space. Tate gets it back. Inside now, two St George players were caught behind, and Wern read it best. Quick turnover, Livery gives it across to Brain. Brain goes by hand again. Gets it back to Livery. Opens up a little bit of space for him to look at. Goes towards Polar Smith. Addison back there. And in trouble now is Conan. Had to get it clear. Now the turnover comes. And the kick is good. And they just worked it and persisted. And the Giants get another.
Nice boots, number 8. Enjoy your rest, Jamie.
14-15, 99. 6-5-41, St George. It's been a clinical effort today by Manly Warringah. Got the jump. Second quarter tightened up with both teams playing loose men in defence. Now the Giants starting to get right on top. We're in the time on in this third quarter. Tate tracks this one back. Addison, he's the man. Tried to isolate. There's the extra number back. He's too far in front of Jack Hill and goes over the boundary line. A good performance by the home side in front of a very good contingent of ladies here enjoying Ladies' Day at the footy. Bonnie runs onto this one, throws on the boot. I tell you what, that's gone all the way. And Damien Bonnie gets a goal for the Giants. And a good one at that. They cracked the ton. 15-15, 105. The margin really starting to open up now. Giants take control of this one. West has been so good in the ruck, they just haven't had the numbers at his feet. Jones was very good early. Play out of the game a little bit. Ben Bow gives it off to Sammy Batten. Batten, left boot, really in the middle there of Fowler and Monk. Goes outside looking for Robertson. Does Fowler, handball. Rare occasion in the forward line. Don't mind me saying that, I'm sure. He's kicked 6 this afternoon, but all credit to Tim Conan. He's been moved back there to try and nullify the goal scorer. And he's done a good job since taking up the post. So George get it out of defence. Bill's free. Napper. Right, his target could have been held without it there. The Giants. The kick wasn't a great one. He had Panizza all in space. And just pulled the kick in favour of St George, and they're able to get it out of there. Randall, a little quick kick over the top, finds Napper. He goes central again. Milner. It's Kenny. Kenny with the bright yellows, greens, or however you see it. Sets it out now, but Batten wanted it more. And it eventually works its way over the boundary line. Congratulations to Manly Warringah. They've put on a fantastic day here for ladies' lunch. Just here in the background, the clinking of champagne glasses. They've not gone wanting the girls here at Manly. It's great to see. In the shadows of three-quarter time, although I say that, we've had some very, very long quarters this afternoon. Things got past the timekeepers. Addison takes a good mark going back with the flight. Too far out to score. The leads come. Decides to go long. Anyone home for the Dragons? West is there. Wilson. There's been a free kick. It's going to go to the Giants. It's called a hold. Not a great kick again. Addison's got it on a string. And he drives them inside again. Nothing really on offer for St George. Wilson comes in, applies the tackle on Wern. Tries to get the footy going out. The umpire is very quick on the whistle. It says, I'll have it. A little bit going off on the off the ball. West with strength. Gets it out into the path there of Hill. Tries to work it around the corner. Couldn't do so. Just the minor score. 6 goals, 6 now. St George. They trail by 63 points. Late in the day now. The lights are on here at Weldon Oval. Not sure they'll take much effect though. As the ball trickles over the boundary line. These long quarters have ensured a late finish to this game. The girls don't mind though. The champagne's still flowing freely. Punch. Umpire's seen something off the ball. It's going to be holding. It'll be a St George kick. It will be Jensen Doherty. No, Wilson is the recipient. Stephen Wilson. His second for the afternoon. Not a great looking kick off the boot. Pulls it left, and the result worthy of the kick. Tries to bring it in. 29 minutes played in this, the third. Once again, trying to work his way through traffic is McCaffrey. He's had a good game this afternoon. There's Tom McCaffrey. In fact, he's kicked 3 goals for the game. West dominant in the ruck. I have to say, probably one of the better players in terms of votes for St George. Hodgson. It wasn't Hodgson, it was Shaw. Went wide. Now by hand. Got themselves into a bit of trouble, but it's going to fall freely. Couldn't bring it in on that occasion was Kenny. And the quick kick out from the Giants. Weir goes back by hand. And reload out there for Fowler. Takes a mark about 60 metres out. He'll have to dish off now. He's got Polar Smith at the back of the pack. Sits beautifully for Polar Smith, but a nice little punch over. The goal umpire has called behind. Addison to bring the ball back in for St George. As the siren sounds to end the third term, it's been a good one for the Manly Warringah Giants. Increase the margin out to 63 points at 3/4 time. Fowler been held pretty well. Was able to score a goal in that quarter, but unfortunately just not enough firepower for the Dragons as yet as we head into 3/4 time. 15-16, 106, Manly Warringah. St George 6-7-43. The margin 63 points. It's 3/4 time here at Weldon Oval. We'll take a break. Join us back here in about 5 minutes time. We'll have all the action from the final quarter. Underway in the final term here at Weldon Oval. It's Wern. The ball out of defence. The Giants go forward for the first time. Fowler the target, and he's out in space now. And interestingly enough, they've put Milner back on him. And straight away, Fowler takes the mark. And this for 7. Breeze has really dropped off. Kick. The umpire doesn't move an inch. And Fowler gets his 7th for the afternoon. Straight out of the middle for the Giants. St George coach held his players in for a very long time there at three-quarter time. Not sure what the messaging would have been, but trail by 69 points in this final term. And only one game behind Manly Warringah going into the match. Of course, they'll end up losing a bit of space from between them and the ladder leaders. Look at the ladder as it stands. You see there, it's only the one game between these two sides leading into this contest. Sydney Uni at the bye this afternoon, so George will maintain their position in fourth spot as Sane takes an interesting mark. Seen a lot of that this afternoon, used his body well, got rid of his opponent. Plunked the mark. He'll get back this for his first goal of the afternoon. And Sane gets one for the Dragons. Desperately like to see more of that. St George, the free kick came to David Ryan. See here, Sane at the back, used the body well, got rid of his opponent. As easy as you like. I desperately missed that this afternoon. Back in the middle of Weldon Park, Washington in the ruck now up against West. Bonnie is the handball out. Brain, short kick, hit the target on Batten. Batten gives off. Brain again with hands. They've worked it well. Bonnie's run forward. Short kick inside is turned over. And Shaw takes the mark back there for St George. Goes sideways. Interesting option. Milner had to reach for it. Running onto it was Wern. Sprayed the kick. Been a nice little prize for Ryan Wern. Able to finish off. George tried to go straight down the middle. West was the intended target, didn't quite get there. Ben Bow hit it with pace, and the turnover comes. Mark taken by Nathan Kenny. George go forward again. Sits beautifully on that occasion. Was Gorman Brown, but the tackle was just as good. And now the Giants have an opportunity to go forward again. Finds himself in a bit of trouble out there. Good enough to get the kick, the handball away, sorry, to Beckett. Beckett, little round the corner kick intended for Brain. Couldn't hold it in, and it spills over the boundary line. Another boundary throw in.
Do you get told this? Yeah, it's fucking so good. So good when it's yeah, the shoulder.
West caught behind Washington. Could have given away a free kick. Umpire decides to let everybody play. That could have been in the back once again. Play goes on.
See you later.
Brain tries to stand up in the contest, and eventually, with the ball moving, in fact, he's going to give a free kick against Brain for incorrect disposal. And he'll come back. It'll be Napper to take the kick for St George. He's looking long. Decides to go top of the arc. Intended for Tomlins. Couldn't bring the mark in. Batten back there for the Giants. And eventually the kick from Weir relieves a bit of pressure. They're under a lot of pressure at the moment. 64 points the margin. Stepping back inside Livery. Bullet pass inside 50. Too hot for Fowler. Could have given away a free kick there. Umpire says play on. And He'll stack on now, and he'll have no option but to ball this up. 25 metres out from goal. So a number of occasions been a clinical performance this afternoon by the Giants. They've done exactly what was needed. This boy has been very good. Going back with the ball there was Gareth Benbow. He's been handy off half back. Carter has a bounce. Always love to see a backman bounce. He's run straight through the corridor, unimpeded. Fowler gets rid of his opponent. Now in a foot race with Addison. Good work there from Addison to make sure that Fowler didn't get a run of it. And the ball goes over the boundary line. So in the foreground there, 3 of the Giants. They tend to do their changes in groups like that. Quite often see 4 sitting on the sideline waiting to do an interchange. Umpire says holding the ball. And it'll be St George free kick. Umpire's not happy though. Eventually gets to Jones. Kick not great, under pressure. Handball out, looking for Kenny. Spins out a 1, gets tackled by the second. And Panizza's won himself a free kick. They play on. Bonnie has taken it away from him and kicked a point. They'll talk about that. Panizza will tell everybody that he was a certainty to kick that one if Bonnie didn't steal it away. Now St George trying to work it. Kenny goes long, but just not finding targets going forward. The Giants go inboard. Livery. Weir gives it off to Witten. Go back to Livery. He's running through the middle. He's in trouble now. Tomlins gets him, and the umpire says didn't tackle him. Said he ran too far. I thought it might have been a bit hot for a tackle. Didn't really stick, but decided that there was too many metres between where he picked it up and where he was almost tackled. Kenny gives it back to Ryan. It goes inboard and Jones drops the mark. Really no pressure on that marking contest, so Brain comes up and away with it. Goes out further to Brain. And the mark is taken by Tom Pyle, and he's going to set himself for a shot on goal. A kick from about 45. He's turned his back on play. He's not even entertaining the idea of passing this one off. Pyle kicks on its way. And he's just pulled it to the right-hand side. 16 goals, 19 now. Certainly done enough, the Giants, but they will have a little concern over their finishing this afternoon. Kick from McCaffrey. Addison made a meal of it, but was good enough to go and get his own ball. Goes over the back. West did well to make the contest. Now they've got numbers coming away with it. Good work at ground level. Back through the middle. And the Dragons get inside 50. Not for long though. And the free kick comes as well. It's going to be in the back. It's going to go against Dave Ryan. It'll be Robertson to take the kick. The big switch is on. Goes out. Carter has a run, has one bounce. Now goes by hand underneath. Interesting. They're through Milner. Carter wants it back. He's still running forward. Brain, though, puts it on the boot. And a good kick it was in the end. And found his brother in Levi Brain. Levi goes short, disguised the kick, and found Tom Pyle, and he'll have another chance to put this one on the board. He learned from the last kick. Tighter angle for this one. Pyle. This time he makes no mistake, and from the tight angle, Pyle has kicked the goal. The Giants are out by 72 points. (17-19), 121. It's a big score on the board for the Giants. St George 7-7-49. As the sun well and truly goes down on the east coast of New South Wales. The Giants quickly out of the middle. Pyle with another opportunity. He's going to have another shot. Oop. Deceptively flat just there, walking backwards. Pyle from way downtown, as they say. Kicks from about 53. Just doesn't have the distance. And there's a whistle on play. It's going to be St George to take the kick. And Milner. Just the one goal in the second half from Braden Fowler. He's kicked 7, so can't quite say he's had a quiet afternoon, but hasn't really had the output in the second half that he had in the first. Kick on its way is not a good one from Taylor Priest. Goes out of bounds on the full. Now the big switch is on again. Giants straighten up. Wern. Handball not great. Still go forward. Now Priest goes back. Goes by hand. Goes off to Kenny. Nice kick. Put Napper under a lot of pressure. Benbow with a big tackle. Umpire lets them play. And the ball goes out of bounds. And the big interchange is on. Rest back in the ruck. Almost being held on that occasion. Hitting the ball and dispossessed there was Doherty. And the turnover comes. The Giants go quickly. And now Fowler has a chance to get another one. Just too quick out of the play. And Braden Fowler will line up for his 8th of the afternoon. If he kicks this, I dare say. Well, I won't say it. He's hit the point post, gone out of bounds on the full. Looked a little relaxed on that kick, Fowler. Unable to get his 8th goal away. St George now out of defence. Just unable to hit clean targets this afternoon, the Dragons. And a good win last week against the Bulldogs. But a very different opposition this afternoon in the Manly Warringah side. Lachlan Behag with the ball. And he's going to have a shot. A kick from about 55. They'll know this ground well. They'll know whether it is a true 50-metre arc. Kick is on its way. Not got the distance. Off hands. Himself into a bit of trouble there was Priest again. It is Tim Conan who gets the ball out of the area. The turnover comes though. And good hands in there from Kenny. Denies Damien Bonney. .16 played in the final term. Giants by 72 points. They've kicked a big score, 17 goals, 19. As you can probably hear in the background, Ladies' Day here, so a good performance on their home deck in front of the girls. Ben Bow. And the turnover comes. Monk just losing his footing. Going back to the mark was Rickson. Goes short to Tate. Looks inboard and an ordinary kick. Beckett. His kick is just as ordinary. And there's some tired boys out there. They've been made to play a lot of football this afternoon. As Jones goes for a little gallop. Getting back Washington. It's been good this afternoon without being dominant, Washington. Some relieving work in the ruck. Just gets away from Tomlin's running back. Another boundary throw in. West this time, free kick. Long foul of the target, but some good work. Monk at the front of the pack, doing what the small guys should do, but unable to finish off. Approaching time on in the final quarter. Giants by 72 points. George, good by hand. Kick comes now. Well before acceptances there was Gareth Benbow. Jones in there, goes and gets his own footy, spins out of one, runs into tackle of Benbow, somehow squeezes a kick away, sits up nicely, and they might have an opportunity off the boot here of Doherty, spins it around, and Mark almost taken by West, went and got it. Washington just troubled him out of it. Benbow ducks underneath West, knows that there's a long way between him and the ground, and he gets back. They might have turned it over though. Good work from Carter going back. And just sheer weight of numbers ensures that the Giants come away with it. Beckett. Back to Washington. And to Benbow. A big switch. It's worked well for him this afternoon. Big up and under. And Pyle makes sure it comes to ground. Good in the end. Now they can run away with it, the Giants. One bounce, two bounces, almost gets away from him. The big head fake. Some good work from Pyle. He can do everything on the run and just can't finish off. In fact, he's gone out of bounds on the full. And interesting bouncing style from Tom Pyle. Awkward looking kick coming out of defence. Giants pounce. Getting back there with Tate, dispossessed. Tomlins tries to step around one, gives it back to Tate. Forced to kick quickly. West is there. It's not West. It was. Just pushing forward, and Benbow has just been sensational for the Giants. Goes short to Brain. Brain inside. Kick was good. Found Parker. Eventually gets it back. Now to Behag. Behag's kick is good. Find Monk in space. Right on the edge of his distance, you'd think. Goes back. Happy to be proven wrong, but I just think the distance may be too much for him. Leads come. Kick one this afternoon. Goes for extra distance. Top of the square is the result. Mark unable to be taken from Fowler. Over the top was Burke, but unable to score. Unable to score a goal, that is. Gets it through for a behind. 17-20, 1:22. 22 minutes played in the final term. Just playing out for acceptances now. St George now know that they've got a lot of work to do if they are to figure prominently in September action. As it looks going forward, they'll meet Sydney University in the first week. Manly, they'll fight it out. More than likely with Pennant Hills. You'd expect the Eagles to keep their winning ways happening. Very dark here now at Weldon Park. As the siren sounds, a very different length in that quarter. 22 and a half played in the final term, and you may even think that they'd worked that one out as we finish things up here at full time at Weldon Oval. 17 goals, 20. The Manly Warringah Giants 122. St George 7-7, 49. A 73-point win to the local side, and they'll be happy with that as we head towards the pointy end of the season. In the end, Braden Fowler, well, he kicked 7, 6 of those in the first half. McCaffrey chimed in with 3 in singles across the board. Kenny, really the only multiple goal scorer for St George. He kicked 2, and it was a long day out for the Dragons. They met the might of the Giants here on their home deck and Ladies' Day, and of course in front of the Premier of New South Wales, Mike Baird, the patron of the Manly Warringah Giants, and they put on a good display for everyone involved. 73 points the margin in the end in favour of the Manly Warringah Giants. As we take a look at next week's matches, an interesting another week of matches here in the AFL Sydney competition. Sydney University, well, they'll host Manly Warringah, and that will be an interesting test for the students out there coming off the bye. St George, they take on Pennant Hills, so it really is top of the table stuff, and that will probably define the season as it will play out in September. North Shore take on the UTS Bats there at Gore Hill, and the Bulldogs, well, they'll have a very tough ask. It is last versus first there on the Village Green. The Western Suburbs Magpies, they have the bye. It's been a fantastic day out here at Weldon Oval this afternoon, and in the end it was 73 points in favour of Manly Warringah. Join us again in the coming weeks, and of course for all the action in the finals in the AFL Sydney Match of the Week. Congratulations to the home side, and we'll see you again very shortly here. The Giants by 73 over St George.